Hi, welcome to Sincerity Podcast. This is Marianne Cadorna with Sincerity Realty, DRE01345274. Sincerity Realty, that is me, the absence of deceit and hypocrisy of faith-based real estate brokerage. Could you imagine that? My clients have a lot of faith in me. I have a lot of faith in them. Faith-based does not mean religious-based. No religion owns faith. Faith is something we're all born with. And that's what I use to practice my real estate. So, wow, can you see that it's a jungle out there? And I just thought it's a perfect theme for today because you know what? There's predatory creatures out there that are just waiting to pounce on you and waiting to capture you before you can even live your life. And that's what I'm talking about today. You know, I want you to become first-time home buyers. As a faith-based real estate company, my mission is to convert renters into home believers. Hallelujah, I got a home. And also to help sellers become home sale price achievers. And that's what I do. And I use my faith, my 8 principles of the Better Business Bureau, my 5 stars. Hey, you're a shining star, no matter who you are, but you are a shining star to me, and I want you to be filled with glee. But so here's the thing. Okay, so when I say it's a jungle out there, I do mean it is, because if you're in this jungle of trying to get ahead in life, well, you know, it's really hard, especially if you're just a working person. But you know what? The greatest gift the government ever gave the working person, the working man, was homeownership. Hi, Mr. Working Man, woman. You know, you work so hard you can have this home. And by the way, you can even have it on a loan and have 30 years to pay it off. Well, it becomes such a good thing because you gain equity, personal wealth that's being absconded. Hey, by none other than that big bull sitting on the Wall Street. So that's your biggest competition. And so, hey, I'm in here in the jungle with you to help you maneuver. And this is why I'm doing this podcast today. The jungle out there and what you have to be careful of are those credit cards that will pounce on you. You see, it made me wonder, why are we taught to be renters instead of taught to be buyers? Well, I know because the system really teaches you how to be in debt, not to be in prosperity. So that's my conversation with you today. And that's why the theme is you're in the jungle of debt. So what are we going to do about it? The first step is not to get into it. I mean, that is the very first step, is not to get into debt. So let's see about getting you into the first-time buyer arena before it becomes harder. It's hard now, but it's going to be harder. So what are your hindrances to get you into homeownership? Number 1 is debt. Number 2 is the credit that causes that debt. Number 3, it's how much you owe on that debt. Number 4, and how much of that debt is going to hinder you from buying your first home. So here's the deal. I want everyone to be homeowners because this is becoming a landlord nation. Pretty soon, they're not going to allow us to own anything. So while you can still own a home, I really believe you need to get in there and stabilize your family, stabilize your monthly living expenses by having a fixed mortgage, budget your life with, right? You can't budget your life with a rent that goes up every year. And every year that it goes up, it sheds another tear, and it does cost you money, first and last month's rent, and you have to keep moving around every couple of years to find affordable rent. Well, I'm sorry, that's not happening now. Could you imagine? Average 2-bedroom house rental or apartment rental in San Francisco is $5,000. Okay, first and last month's rent, that's $10,000. So you can't keep moving around. I think the only option you have is to move into homeownership. So let's talk about the horse before the cart, because you can't ride into home ownership without having a good cart behind you, and the cart has to be filled with what? So here's the thing. Let's start you off to be on the path to be a first-time home buyer. And what does that mean? Okay, when you become a full-time worker, do not think of buying yourself goodies. Do not think of buying yourself a car. How about being disciplined for 2 years because you want to buy a house. The outcome will be totally different if you take route number 2. Again, why are people taught to rent rather than to own? Because I think the system is set up so that you focus on debt and not prosperity. They pounce on you. Okay, again, it's the jungle out there. They pounce on you. Wow! Oh, you can have credit. Oh, you won't regret it. You can buy whatever you want. Ouch. Okay. You're in college. You're passing out credit cards. Hello. Then you're on your phone. You're on your iPhone. You're on your Android. And all you're doing is looking at what you're going to buy. But you know what? Usually our wants exceed our income. That's just the way human nature is. You always want more than you have. And that's what gets you into trouble. Every day we're bombarded with advertisements to buy this, to buy that, urging us to spend money we don't have. Come on. So it's not that you really start off with this appetite. You're actually promoted to have this appetite so that you can buy more than you need. And when that exceeds, you turn to the credit card. So that's how you start off on the hamster wheel of debt. Debt is financial debt of your future. Okay, so let's start. We are seduced by advertisements. We are enticed by commercials. We are conditioned to have an appetite to consume. And in that consumption, when your money runs out, well, guess what? You turn to your credit card and you can't stop. So what happens? Now you're looking at debt that can be up to 34% interest on your retail credit card. And now you have to pay for that debt. So, why do you want to stay out of debt? Well, you know that debt that you own, if you pay minimum payments every month, which they have you do, because that's the teaser, you're going to be paying on it for years. That debt's going to hinder you from getting into a first-time home buyer loan. Ah! What's worse than that? Wow, we love the rumble of that muscle car. We love the feeling of that speed, and we love how it makes our ego feel when we buy a car. Okay, those interest rates aren't as bad as retail cards. It's between 7 and 12%, and if your credit is bad, hey, doesn't matter. We're going to charge you more money, baby, so come on in and buy that car. Well, that car loan is going to be between 5 and 7 years. That's going to take you out of the real estate market 5 to 7 years. In that 5 to 7 year time, your vehicle depreciates. It's worth less. Okay, that's called a depreciating asset. And you have to sit on that asset while you pay for it every month. However, if you were to have bought a house or even a condo in that 5 to 7 year period, you would have gained appreciation, which is the difference from what you paid for the house and the increased value due to inflation. Inflation has the car cost more, but it depreciates still much less. And inflation also affects your credit card payment because they keep raising the interest rates on those cards, they keep getting approved. And so what happens? You get the credit cards, you get enticed to buy more than what you want, and you're actually conditioned to go into debt. Then it's not enough to have credit cards. Now you're conditioned. Oh, you see how many car commercials there are on TV and you hear it on the radio? Again, you are being conditioned to buy, to buy, to buy until you say bye-bye to that home. So what I want you to do is start thinking about being prosperous, better than poverty. Again, your debt, DEBT, is the death, DEATH, of your financial future. So let's start you off on the right track. If you've become a first-time, full-time worker. You get benefits, healthcare, dental, all the other bells and whistles that come to being a full-time worker. That's really a blessing. And I am really grateful that you have a full-time job. However, once you become a full-time employee, you don't realize in 2 years of full-time employment, you can be a full-time homeowner. But what's going to hinder you from being a full-time homeowner? It's those stinking credit cards and that car loan. So here's the thing. You want to be conservative, start saving your money. If you can stay at home and save your money for 2 years while you're working full time, that's great. If you can stay with a relative or a friend to cut your monthly housing expenses in half, that'd be great too, because the goal is to save enough money to be able to get a home in 2 years. And here's the thing. Every $100 that you spend on debt knocks $25,000 off your buyability, buyability, to get a home. That's pretty steep, okay? So do open a couple of credit cards, find out from a lender, or you can ask me, give me a call, what type of credit cards you need to open. I think you need at least 3 lines of credit, in order to be prepared to get a first-time home buyer loan. So you want to keep them at a minimum. If you want to use your card to pay your gas every month, use the card and then pay off the card every month. So you want to set up a good track record for your credit. But for right now, if you become a first-time employee full-time, set yourself a 2-year marker. Establish your credit. Do not get into credit card debt. Do not buy yourself goodies to fill up your apartment. Do not buy all these subscriptions. Do not spend thousands of dollars every month buying things, buying entertainment, buying whatever you think it is, because you're basically selling out your future. Be conservative. Think, I'm going to be a homeowner in 2 years. I'm now fully employed for 2 years. I behave and I don't establish a lot of debt, but I establish my credit. I don't buy that new car and I just buy a used car, as inexpensive as possible, the best that you can, and start saving your money. Because the money you save will save you in 2 years. The money you spend will prevent you from being a homeowner in 2 years. Homeownership, the monthly mortgage payment you make is say it's not like paying rent, but if you put it in the context of paying rent, you're paying a rent to own your home. When you're paying regular rent, you're paying monthly an obligation to own nothing. Where do you want to be? Homeownership is being absconded by big business because it's lucrative. We're becoming a landlord nation, and I'm telling you, I'm sounding the bell now. You need to get into home ownership before no one can get in, because eventually all the property might be owned by corporations, because they already own 33% of the single family inventory in the Bay Area. And that's why 44% of you renters are renting. So stay away from goodies, stay away from what you don't need, and start saving, because your financial future depends on it. So getting back to the car, that's considered a depreciating asset. That means it loses value. As soon as you drive off the parking lot, you've already lost value. So start thinking appreciating asset. What's that? Oh my gosh. Well, homeownership is an appreciating asset. A lot of people tell you, oh, don't buy a home. It's no good. You're not going to get, excuse me. A home appreciates in value. Like I negotiated for my clients. I negotiated a good deal for their dream home. Okay. So in 2 years' time, they earned $150,000 in equity. Okay. That's from owning a home for 2 years in their scenario. You own a car, you own debt. In 2 years, you own nothing. So what I'm trying to say is an appreciating asset is something that goes up in value when you own it. And that's the reason why so much of Wall Street and investors are buying up the real estate. When you see all these advertisements of, oh, so buys homes, we buy homes, we sell homes, we buy homes. Excuse me, they're buying homes to turn around to become landlords. Those homes are going to be rentals. They're not going to be homeowners. Hey, Sincerity Realty buys homes for first-time home buyers. So if you want to sell your home, call Marianne Cadorna, Sincerity Realty, 628-888-9078, DRE 013-45274, because I'm on a mission to get as many people into homeownership as possible. It's the American dream that's slowly slipping through our fingers because big money's involved. And there was a time when homeownership was the dream. Now it's slipping through our hands. And if you don't get smart, stay out of debt, then you'll never get there. And you'll be renting forever. So as I mentioned earlier, the average two-bedroom in rental in San Francisco now is $5,000 a month. You can't afford $5,000 a month. That could be a mortgage payment, okay? And there's other ways to own if you can't get in by yourself. But the point is, I want you to be prepared to think about being a homeowner rather than a renter, lamenter. Debt is a trap that keeps you in the hamster wheel where you continue to pay high interest rates on your credit card, on your loans. You're paying it to the banks and corporations. They're getting richer while you're getting poorer. Think about that. Choosing home ownership and a mortgage means you're paying to own your future home. Paying it rent means you're paying to own nothing. And I don't mean to sound so hard-lined on that, but that's the honest to God truth. As a faith-based real estate company, Sincerity Realty is dedicated to converting renters into home believers and sellers into home sale price achievers. While the getting is still good enough to get you in, I really want you to get in, but you have to start off by being not a first-time buyer, but a first-time employee. Your time is being paid for by your employer. And how do you want to use that time? Use that time to establish your credit, to save money, to minimize your expenses, and look at homeownership in 2 years. That's only 24 months. And that's all it takes to start getting qualified for home ownership. But forget the debt trap because that's the death of your financial future. I want to see you get ahead. And the only way you're going to get ahead is to own a home. I'm sorry. Like the example I gave you, my clients earned $150,000 in appreciation, equity in 2 years. Where can a working man, woman get that kind of appreciation in buying an asset? You know, a lot of people buy Ferraris or whatever, but the point is you can't live in a Ferrari and it's too expensive to get it repaired and the gas is going to be a lot of money too. So, hey, how about owning a home? I think that's your best bet because you have a future, you have stability. Stability two ways. Number one is you don't have to keep moving. You don't have to be a nomad, a renter nomad anymore. And number two, is that monthly payment, providing, here's the caveat, you get a fixed interest rate mortgage, that monthly payment will never go up, providing you don't touch that equity. So let's get you started to be a first-time home buyer by showing you how to become a first-time employee. It's a jungle out there. It's a credit card jungle. And all these things, they bite your future away. And debt, accrued debt, keeps you on the hamster wheel, keeping the corporations rich, the banks rich, while you get poor and you get tired and you get scared. Debt is a lot of stress. The best way to deal with it is not to get into it to begin with. So, first time, full-time employees, please take heed and take care and do a good deed for yourself. Okay? Don't get into debt. Get rid of it as soon as possible. So don't forget, stay out of debt. And if you want more advice, don't think twice. Call Sincerity Realty. Sincerity Realty, that is me, the absence of deceit and hypocrisy. Marianne Cadorna, my faith-based real estate company, is here for you always. Take care. Talk to you soon.